Shopping is not a problem, but people who shop too much is a problem.
Maybe they can ask their families to take all of their money or lock her in the room.
I was just going to say, put her in jail, and then she can't shop. But do you really? Okay. How's little Lily today?
I'm great.
You're great. Now I hear you, but your face doesn't move. Oh my God. We've got a lag today. How's your little sister doing?
She's great too.
She's great too. What's she doing now?
She's playing with my little brother.
Oh, okay. That's good. Your little brother is how old now? 4?
He's 4 years old.
4. Okay, so I still remember correctly. All right. So you got your test papers?
No.
No test papers? What? So you don't know what we're going to be talking about? Ooh, so it's going to be challenging. We got 3 parts. Ha ha. I'm sure you'll do okay. The tests are always designed just to have conversation anyway. I'd just like to let you guys know what topics we'll talk about and how it's going to be structured, just so that you're not too surprised when you do the test. Are you ready to go?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Then you'll have an early evening tonight. All right, so here we go. Part 1. Our topic 1 is going to be socializing. So the first question is, are you an introvert person or are you an extrovert? Or maybe both? What do you think you are?
Both.
Okay, why is that? Why do you say both?
Because sometimes I like to stay alone and sometimes I want to talk with my friends, go out and then play.
What do you like doing when you're being introverted? What things do you like to do when you're by yourself, when you're alone?
When I'm alone, I love to play games.
Just play against the computer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we listen to music or sleep.
Sleeping. Well, everybody has to sleep, so that doesn't really count. But yeah, because you like K-pop and you like classical music, which is really cool. So what kind of things do you like to do when you're out with your friends, when you're socializing? What kind of activity do you like?
I love to go to the shops or the park, playing the slides with my friends.
Okay. Well, the park is good because you get some fresh air and you get some sun, hopefully. And shopping is always fun. It's fun to spend money. So you could talk about some of the friends you've made recently, maybe at school or something, but how do you make new friends? And if you're looking for friends, where can you find them?
I usually mix friends on video games or at school. I rarely play with my neighborhood. And in game, I will ask them his or her about his or her information. Like, where do you live? What school do you study? And which grade are you in?
Okay. So have you... Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
And about their hobbies too.
In what? Oh, about hobbies. So have you made any friends online that you have met in person?
Yes.
Oh, yeah? So you met some people in Comfa that play games and you met them playing games?
Yeah, and then I realized that we study in the same school.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Have you made friends in other countries? Is it always Vietnamese, the groups you play with, or is it English too?
Yeah, some of the English too on video games.
Yeah, because sometimes there's people all over the world that are playing. Yeah. So, what other countries have you made friends with? Have you made friends in? Haven't made friends with the country, but the people from other countries.
Yes, in Newway.
A new way.
Yeah, like Indonesia.
Oh,
Where is
Benicia from playing games from New Way too?
no. Just on Newway.
Oh, just making what? We're talking about. Oh, okay. What you're saying is you've made friends now with Benicia, who lives in Indonesia, but that was through school here on the online New Way English.
Yeah,
Okay. But have you made friends in other countries playing video games?
some like Lily in the England.
Another Lily
Yeah,
in England. Okay, cool. How old is she?
she's 12.
She's 12. Is she going to come visit you in Vietnam?
No.
Not anytime soon, huh? Maybe later. Yeah, that's the one thing about the internet is we really get to connect with people all around the world. I love now that that the school that we New Way and my YouTube channel and stuff that we've gone online like 95%. I just had an interest one. We started 2 interest ones, one online and one on site. So this afternoon, Saturdays is the on-site class, which just ended. And then tomorrow afternoon is the online one where, of course, your sister, Paris, is in. But what's really cool about the way we run our business now is that we have students from the Philippines and India and Indonesia and a lot of Vietnamese, of course, and we'll get more from other countries in the future. So it's really cool how some of the classes now you have international students. So they're talking and practicing their English with people from other countries. So you can't sit there and chat in Vietnamese with students from Indonesia. So it's really beneficial for the language, number one. And it's cool because you get to meet people in other countries. And I think the kids like the fact that, oh, I got class tonight and my friend from Indonesia or the Philippines is there. I think it's cool. I think it's one of the best parts. Topic 2. Thumbs up. Yes. Now, before I go to topic 2, just a quick note. Now that I've started rebuilding the company after COVID, and we moved out of the big school we built because we lost all of that when COVID came. The government shut the school down. So we had to move to a smaller building. So we just have a couple of small classrooms. And then we have 2 studios. My studio here where I do all my teaching. And Lei has her studio where she does all her teaching and videos. Now I will never change. Doesn't matter what happens in the future. I'm just going to be run an online school and a YouTuber. And that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I really enjoy it. And I like editing all the videos, and I have lots of plans of many videos to make in the future, and I really enjoy it. So I'm very, very happy with the decision we've made. And Leia likes it too, so that's good. Abroad. So you need to pick a country or a city, and I'm going to ask you some questions. So first, going abroad to a country or a city outside of Vietnam, where would it be?
I would like to go to Tokyo.
Tokyo. Take your mom?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So when you go to Tokyo, which is the biggest city in the world, as far as I know, at least it's the most populated city in the world, where would you like to stay? Right in the city or on the outside in the countryside? Would you like to stay in a
Right
hotel?
in the city.
Okay. So a big hotel right downtown Tokyo?
Of course. I love the air conditioner in the hotels.
Okay, that's true. That's if you go in the middle of the summer, you would want AC, but they have full winters there. Would you want to go in the summer or the winter time?
in the summertime.
You don't want to see the snow?
No.
I would imagine it gets pretty cold in Japan in the winters. They're right on the ocean, and they definitely have winters. They're right next to Russia and Korea. So it would be cold in the winters. Okay, so summertime in a big fancy hotel downtown Tokyo because you like the AC. And maybe you like all the food. What things would you want to do? Not see, but what would you like to actually do when you're in Tokyo?
First of all, I'll go to anime shops. The anime shops.
Okay.
To buy some items and some models.
So those would be okay. So you'd like to do a lot of shopping and you'd like to visit specifically would be the anime shops.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you like to buy at the anime shops again?
Some mangas and some anime models.
Oh, the what is it? MMO dolls? Those are the
Anime models.
How do you say it? Dolls?
MODEL.
Oh, model dolls. MODEL, model dolls. Okay, of the characters in anime.
Yeah.
Right. And the mangas, those are the comics, right?
Yes.
Books and stories. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that would be cool. They're famous for that, for sure. What other places would you like to go, especially with your mom? I'm sure she doesn't want to spend the whole day in a manga shop and an anime shop.
I go to the restaurant.
Me too. I think
when I watched anime, I saw that there are many delicious foods.
When
makes me hungry.
Yeah, they probably have a lot of fancy restaurants in Tokyo for sure. If you don't get lost. That's what I think too. I think one of the things I want to do if I get a chance to do some more traveling, it's really about going to places where I really want to try a lot of the different food. That's why I want to go to the Mediterranean so much, because I really like the pastas and the pizzas and the olives and the cheeses. I think that would be a place I would very much like the food. I like sushi, but I don't think Tokyo would be my first choice. No, Italy would be my first choice for sure.
Why?
Italy. For one, there's so much history. I would love to see all the old battlefields of the Roman empires and all the old buildings. And the history is something that fascinates me. And then just as important, the food. The pasta, Mamma Mia pizzeria shops and have the real homemade Italian pizzas and pasta and bruschetta and with the olives and the cheese. And oh yeah. No, that would be the food. Big reason. And thirdly, I think the landscape, the videos I've watched, the pictures I've seen, the coastal towns in the Mediterranean, I think they're very beautiful and classic. I actually think I got to take that if I ever get a chance. That's the next vacation I will take will be at Italy. I'll try to spend as much time, maybe a whole term, like the whole 10 weeks that I'm teaching, so I can teach from there. I'll set up a studio in my little cabin or whatever. Maybe I'll teach outside, and try to spend at least 10 weeks there if I can. So I can see as much of Italy as possible and still teach at the same time. Because it's just, well, Italy, right now, we're doing a test at 5:30. So this is really cool because in Italy right now, it is 11:23 a.m. So I can do all my teaching earlier in Italy and still teach all my classes in Vietnam and around Asia. And if I really, really like it, if the visas and setting up the business and cost of living is okay after I visit, I might move there for a few years. I might move to Italy. I think I would really enjoy living there. I think the weather is a lot like Vietnam, and with the food and everything. Yeah, I'm really seriously thinking about it. Maybe in a couple of years. Because I can still, like I say, this is the beautiful thing about having an online school now. Is having an online school, I can pretty much basically live anywhere in the world I want now, and I can still do my job. So that's really cool. I love that. So yeah, those are the main reasons why I'd like to go to Italy. But I really like Da Nang too. So I'm gonna decide in the next 3 to 5 years. The next 3 to 5 years right now is I still have a lot of work to build up this business and the online. Doing more talking about me than we're doing about talking about you. But I of course I like talking about it because it's my dream. The next 3 to 5 years now at my age, this is about structuring, making sure this business gets bigger because this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, and figuring out where I'd really like to retire. So it's either going to be right here in Da Nang along the coast. I really like it here. Or I want to try the Mediterranean area before I make that decision. So try that first, and then I can decide which one is better for me. But all in the next 3 to 5 years. Yeah. So let's go to part 2. Okay. All right. So in our part 2 solution discussion, this one is going to be based on living forever, that lesson we had. Some scientists believe that in the future, humans will live for 200 years or even 300 years. They're going to get really old. Some people believe that's going to happen. So you have 3 options here of which one you'd like to talk about, right? So you talk about the one that you think you're more interested in. Choose the question you are more interested in speaking about. 1, do you think most people would like to live that long? Why or why not? Or what problems do you think people could have if they lived that long? Well, we don't know anybody that's 150 years old. What kind of problems could there be if that happened? And 3rd, more about the world. Would it be better for the world if people could live for 200 years or more? All right. So is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? So I'm going to give you a minute. Do you have any questions? No questions. All right. So I'm going to give you a minute to prepare your answers and why you didn't choose 2 of the 3 options. And we're going to start now. 1 minute to prepare. All right. 1 minute is up. So, again, you're going to talk about one interesting possibility for the future. Which one's it going to be? Right? You're going to talk about why you think most people would like to live that long, or you're going to talk about what the problems they could have living that long, or whether it's good for mankind for people to live that old. Which one do you want to talk about?
I will talk about topic 1.
Okay. Do you think most people would like to live that long? Why or why not?
Maybe no, because when the people are too old, they will be very weak. So the hospitals are always full. The hospital's payment is maybe over $2,000 per month.
Expensive.
And like Japan people, there are many things that make them not too happy. Like the pressure in their life about the money. They don't have enough money to pay to live and to buy and they can't buy any food. So they maybe will I don't want to talk about that.
The word is a burden on their families, right? If they can't produce or they can't, no way they can live on a pension for 100 years. The governments would go bankrupt. But yeah, then it would all, if they can't earn money, then yeah, the families would be stuck with, and then you would have like, you could have like 5 grandfathers and 5 grandmothers. That's a lot of people living in one house. That's a very good point. So you kind of answered all of these. Let me just see if I can find a couple of questions in here. All right. So would it be better for the world if people could live for 200 years? And again, you said because medical reasons, that could be a big problem. Do you think people could, other problems they could have? Again, the money, the cost of living. Yeah, it's really about, when you look at the whole picture, it's not so much about them living older. It's about the financials, the costs that would be related to all of that. And it would really be so important, like a person on average could live till about 80 years old on average now. They can work roughly until they're 60, 65. Average. So that's only 15, 20 years of retirement. Average. But if you live to 200 years old, does that, like I said, does it mean you're going to work until you're 160? I don't know how much fun that would be. Oh, that's a long job. It might only be good for those who are rich. All right. Yeah, that's a tough question. But you kind of gave all the reasons in there. Good. Let's move on to part 3. All right. Part 3 is our speaking topic. Blah, 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 blah. Hard to do with Mimi with her no microphone. What can shopaholics do to stop their compulsive habit of shopping or behavior? Is it advertising that's causing these obsessions? Or is it social pressure to fit in with friends? What do you think the problem is? And what can be done about it? Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Then as in top part 2, I will give you 1 minute to prepare. Starting now. All right, your time is up. Okay. All right, so part 3 is, what can shopaholics do to stop their compulsive habit or behavior for shopping? Is advertising the cause? Or is it social pressure to fit in with friends? What do you think is the problem? And what can be done about it? What can people do? How can we help these people? What do you think? Everybody knows what a shopaholic is. We had that lesson.
I think it's about the advertisement. Like, they're very attractive, and some of the shopaholics like that and run to the shops and buy it.
I agree. I think it's a lot of it is the advertising and the glamour on the videos and ads, and I gotta have that. So what can we do about it? How are we gonna fix the problem? Shopping is not a problem, but people who shop too much is a problem.
Maybe they can ask their families to take all of their money or lock her in the room.
I was just going to say, put her in jail, and then she can't shop. But do you really think that's going to solve the problem? You can't lock her up in a room forever. And eventually she's going to get a job when she gets out of school. What about then?
she needs to do it by herself. Just always think that shopping is not good. Shopping is not good. I will lose all of the money. Once you shop, run away, or choose another way to go to the point.
Do you remember what the girl did in our lesson? What she was asking herself all the time to help her change her way of thinking?
No, I don't remember.
The girl had said what she was doing was every time she'd get the urge, the feeling to shop, she would always ask if she really needed it. She'd kind of have a conversation with herself to kind of rewire herself, because she said that often she would shop, and then once she was home and she saw all the stuff she bought that still had tags on it, she never even wore the stuff, that she felt really bad. So the way she overcame her problem was she sat down and thought about it and created some questions so she would ask herself when she was at the mall and she saw something, oh, I got to buy that. And she would ask herself a simple question like, do I really need this? What do I need it for? Where am I going to wear it? What's the purpose? Asking questions to justify the purpose for buying it. And if she couldn't find one, then she realized, no, maybe I don't need this right now. I could buy it later. And that was one way she was able to put her obsession under control. And a lot of psychologists say that too. Usually when you have a problem like that, you really have to sit down and talk to yourself. And you got to ask the right questions. Why you're doing it? What is the emotion you're getting from doing this? And is it good? Is it hurting? What bad things could happen to you if you continue to do these things, right? Because then maybe you put fear behind you. Oh, if I keep doing this, I'm gonna be poor, or I'm gonna ruin my relationships. And then all of a sudden there's something else that kind of puts the fear in you to be careful. Yeah. There's a few ways, but you're right. It's hard to stop a bad habit. Really hard. So, not about shopaholics, but do you think style is really important? I think I've asked you this question before. Do you think it's important to have new clothes and really nice clothes when you go out and it's fashionable?
Yes.
Why?
Because make me more beautiful.
Beauty, aesthetics, vanity.
And some of the old clothes are not fit us.
A what?
Some of the old clothes don't fit us.
Oh, don't fit us. Okay. Yeah. I would agree with you there too. I think it's important that we try to look we have to be smart and we have to speak properly and we have to conduct ourselves and behave properly. But I think there is definite advantages to look your best. People respect that. You don't want to be unhygienic or wear old or dirty clothes. People will judge you because of it, for sure. So you said sometimes the old clothes are too small. Well, what do you do with old clothes that are too small? Or maybe they're not too small, you're fully grown, but they just you just don't like them anymore and they're old and they lost their color. Well, what do you do with clothes like that?
I throw it into the garbage.
A lot of people do. Some parents will pass them down to the younger sisters and brothers, depending what it is, to save money.
Mother will do that, but if the clothes are too small to her or they're too old, my mom won't give her.
Do you have shops here where you can bring old clothes? Like donate them for poor people or people who are less fortunate financially so they can buy discount clothes? No?
No.
See, they have that in Canada. Well, they did. I mean, it's been a long time since I've lived in Canada. But I remember they had, I think they're called thrift stores, possibly dollar stores, donation places where old toys, old everything, anything you had that you didn't want anymore, you were going to throw it away. Clothes, jackets, boots. You could bring there. I don't think you got any money for it. I think it was just a way to donate it. And the shops would stay open by selling things for $1 or $2. So they made a little money doing that. But it really helped the poorer people. And it really helped the homeless and the shelters. Because at least, someone who's homeless, maybe he needs a winter jacket. And you have a really good winter jacket, but you have 2 or 3. So you give it to the shop so that someone else can use it because they need it. That was very popular, what I remember when I was living in Canada. But I've never seen that in Indonesia or Vietnam, in the 2 countries that I've spent a lot of time in. And you say, no, they don't have shops like that here. No?
No.
Okay. Well, maybe someone should start a business like that. I'm sure someone needs it. Yeah. I could use a new jacket right now. What do they say? One person's trash is another person's treasure. That's an old saying. It just depends on the individual and what you're looking for and what you want. All right, Lily. It's all very good again. Good conversation, and you're putting your sentences together well. Your grammar continues to improve in your spoken English. And we're always building up our vocabulary. We always want to be more articulated, to be able to express and say the things that we're thinking about, which is an art. It's not easy to do. Once we get to a higher level, then what we're going to have to do is start putting some writing classes together. And then we can really start organizing our thoughts, because writing is just formal thinking. And when you can start becoming a good writer, and you can find the right words to explain what you're saying, what you want to say, and then you make the right sentence, and then you start formulating the paragraph so everything is in sync. That's all your thinking that you're putting on paper. And that's training your mind to be able to speak fluently. Like any good speaker or successful person is very good at expressing the point, so they understand. They're good at negotiating, and they're very good at communicating exactly what they're trying to say. It's a superpower, and it's not taught enough in schools, but it's very important to build your vocabulary and learn how to write. All right, it's good. So I'm going to have Mimi Milo come in now, and I'm going to hope that I can hear her. Oh, the last test was so hard. So you have a nice early night off tonight, and I'll see you in interest 23 next week. I'll show you the new cover for the book. Hold on here. Let me just go to sharing. Which one? Screen 2. People?
Yes.
All
They
right.
look like zombies.
The what?
They look like zombies.
Zombies. They're silhouettes of different people. Because I realized in our new book for 23, we're talking about all kinds of people that do all kinds of different things. We're talking about how people feel. We're talking about people that act in movies. We're talking about actors. Yeah, we're talking about people who use social medias. We're talking about people who are superstitious, black cats and walking on their ladders. One is about maths. Well, that's not about people, but talking about real artists. We're talking about how they became in charge, becoming leaders and bosses. We're talking about special training like martial arts. So the one thing that almost every chapter had in common was different people. So I called it people. And I'll see you in lesson 1, people, next Saturday.
Bye.
Bye, Lily. See you later. Zoro.